Today's video is sponsored by Kizane45. Thank you for being a member of the channel. If you guys want to join our channel membership, you can click the join button down below on the right here, and you guys can join up and help support us. So today we're going to be taking a little bit of a detour from our normal schedule, and I'm going to be giving you guys a special little boat tour of a really awesome boat. Now, if you've read the title, you probably already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this big yacht right here. So if you're familiar with boating at all, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that you've already seen, and if that's the case, you can skip ahead. I'm gonna be putting chapters in this video, so you can kind of click on whatever portion you want to see. But if you're here just to take the tour and see what's going on with this boat, stick around and we're gonna walk through every little bit of it. Now, there's a couple of videos showing this boat on YouTube. This is, of course, the Chris Craft 36-foot Corsair. I'm going to give you guys a very in-depth walkthrough of all the really cool features of this yacht, and I'm going to show you guys all the little nitty-bitty pieces along the way. Now, if you guys watched my short on YouTube, you would have seen the little tour we did of this one, this really brief little tour, but I'm going to take you guys on a more in-depth tour and show you what makes this boat really special. Hey Chris. Brandon, how's it going? Starting off with the stern area. So, like I said, I'm showing you everything. So we have a ladder that's collapsible. You have a little lift ring to grab onto, which makes it really nice for swimming. Of course, you have your swim grid here. One thing Chris Craft is very notable for is their heritage of wooden boats. So with any of the boats that they've made, they've used wood. So even up to the modern day, this is all real wood that Chris Craft uses. This isn't laminated, this is actually teak with either a stain or sometimes people put varnish on it. But Chris Craft will always have real wood on their boats. Kind of makes them stand out from the rest of the competition. Now in the back area here, we of course have two little cubby holes. Good amount of storage in here. You can store have extra cushions for the seats in the back and your dock hook and your cleaning utility stuff, all that. I'm going to be showing you guys why there's giant hinges here in a second. It's probably my favorite feature. Of course, back here we have two hookups for shore power, so you can plug it into the wall. We have the TV phone hookup, so if you want to hook up a coax cable and watch some television, this is where you do it. And of course, we have another cubby hole here. Has the Chris Craft logo on it. Down this area we have our line 1 and line 2 test ports, as well as the water pressure regulator setup, and then some more storage as well. Here we have our tiny little foot gate. So if you have any sort of floaties or anything, you can kind of keep them safe with this little gate. But there's actually a fun little feature hidden right here. Let's take a look at that. So this boat has all the creature comforts that you could expect on a yacht. And if you take a look at this, this is actually an outdoor shower tucked away into the outside here. And yes, in case you're wondering, we are detailing this yacht as well, so any of this dirt and grime that you see is going to get cleaned up. This came from across Canada, so a little bit of road dirt on it, but other than that, nothing too crazy. And yes, we will be making a video as well showing the before and the after of getting this boat cleaned. And of course, we're also going to be reworking the teak work, so I'm sure you notice some of the teak is peeling in areas and is dry. We're going to fix all that as well. But yeah, this is the shower. So you have not just an on or off, but you actually have heat or cold. So you can turn on the hot or the cold water. There is a hot water tank on this boat with potable water as well. That just it's another really cool option. You know, you jump in the ocean, want to shower off. Now back here we of course have the lounge area. There is storage found underneath in all of these places here, where once again you have storage under the seats for your buoys on the side. Very nice upholstery too. They didn't just cheap out and wrap it around and leave it there. That they put in a nice Chris Craft pattern on here, and all of the seats are actually removable, so you can have access to storage all the ways underneath. Well, I say all, but in reality I mean these two. This one doesn't actually come up, so if you have one of these, don't yank on that. Doesn't do anything. Down along the outside here we have one gasoline tank, the water tank, and then over on this side we have another gasoline tank and another water tank. So having the two tanks is really awesome. You can go all the ways one way on a tank and then turn around, come back. Now you're good. And of course we also have our signal light hookup. Now my favorite thing about this boat is behind every panel, every door, there's another little feature that makes this boat just so much nicer to be on. So we have these two cupboards here. Now, if you look at this one on this side, we have kind of like a little wash basin thing. This is all sealed up here. Here we have more storage, which is currently being used for cleaning products. Then over on this side, we have something really cool. We have a sink, and we have a nice little cutting board. If you want to make a little meal or something like that. We have, again, more storage with a outlet plug-in for phone chargers, etc., stuff like that. Cup holder. Now making our way up to the captain's area here, we of course have all of our navigation systems and captain's chair area, which I'll go over in a second. And then we have our passenger area, cup holder. Now you have your little step-up area to get up onto the deck, which I'll show you in a second here. And of course you have your passenger seat area, and it has these nice little folding chairs so that you can stand or sit depending on how you want to sit in the chair, as well as it also provides a little bit of a higher position to be sitting on the chair in case you're going over rough waves or something like that. Again, we have more storage down in this area. You can put in your important information. That's more or less the glove box of the front cabin area. And then we got some speakers and some lighting for the floors. Cup holder. And it's kind of funny because down on this side we have what appears to be the world's smallest piece of trim. But again, Chris Craft is thinking about every little bit of this boat. So this trim is actually there to protect the sides of the boat from the rope that hangs out over the sides here. And they've done that over there as well with another little piece of trim. Now, one thing to note with these Chris Craft is that they really did not skip on the quality. Everything that they did, they built with intention to have good creature comforts, to be good quality, to be really well made. And we just absolutely love all of the effort that went into these boats. For example, we have a Garmin GPS system. Garmin is a very good company, as well as the fact that the engines, the twin engines in it, are Volvo engines. If you know anything about Volvo, that's a really awesome and reliable engine to have, as well as all of the rubber is made by none other than TaylorMade. So you have Volvo, you have Chris Craft, you have Garmin, you have TaylorMade, all combining into this one boat. I'm sure there's other companies as well, but that's just to show you that they did not skip putting quality and effort into this build. I mean, even the seat is a great example. If you know anything about upholstery, doing seams like this, it's very difficult, but it ends up looking really nice. That's just a little bit of a spider web. That is not the cotton. It ends up looking really nice and smooth and crisp, and they made sure that everything was built really well. You'd be hard-pressed to find any sort of ugly seams with the upholstery on these. Now, moving on over to the cockpit area. This is a great area for you to put your brand new absolute classic hat right there. Look how gorgeous these are, guys. We are going to be bringing some of these to the upcoming boat show, which I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Still kind of a little bit of a secret. We have a boat show we're going to. We're going to be having some of our hats there for sale. You, of course, can get these on our website. They aren't just released just yet, but they are quite beautiful, and we have a number of different options to look at. Now, unlike a vehicle where you can turn the key on in any position, to get access to all of this panel here where the steering wheel is, it's imperative that you have it hooked up to line power, or if you're in the water, you have it hooked up to the generator. That's something that it took me a little bit of time to figure out. The dash is up here, and of course the engine information and the engine bay controls all function without line power or the generator, but anything on the dash here must be hooked up to line power or the generator, and that includes the radio unit and any of the lighting on the inside. Now, this one has been retrofit with a new Bluetooth stereo deck, and of course we have our Garmin CB radio, whatever you want to call that. I come from the world of cars, so to me that's a CB radio. If you guys know it's called something else, let me know. Now you can get a really good close-up look here at all the controls we have on this side and all of the controls that are available here. You can see there is quite a lot of really cool little buttons, including underwater lights, which is kind of a cool little feature to have, as well as docking lights. We also have the table button, which I'm going to show you in a second here. That's really cool. We have our top that comes up. Up here we have the anchor, we have the engine hatch. The engine hatch works with no line or generator power. I'm not sure about the anchor, I haven't tested that out yet. And then here we have our horn and our navigation lights. So now it's about time that I show you guys some of the more unique and cool features that this boat has. Starting off, we have one of these tiny little controls, these little joystick controls. Now if you know what this is, you'll know how really useful and awesome this is. Essentially, it has two engines on the back of it. So you can use these joystick controls when you're at the dock to gently move the boat forward, backwards, side to side. It'll actually move the boat completely sideways. Now the cooler feature is you can twist it and you can angle the boat any direction you want. You want to spin the boat in one axis, you want to go sideways and spin the boat. It's just a really nice control that you can use, and it has a couple of different options there. And then over here we have the engine information area, so it tells us the battery voltage, the PSI. We have a couple of different options we can turn on, and we have a couple of different views we can look at. Now for the really cool features, you guys are gonna love this. So looking back here, you may have noticed that there's this little section right down in the bottom here. Now watch what happens when I hit this switch. And that gives us an electric table that pops up. Very awesome little thing. You can play some cards on here, a couple of tech decks or something. I don't know. I don't know what you do on a yacht. I'm not the kind of guy to own one, but I'd probably be playing with tech decks and cards or something. I don't know. But super nice. You don't have those annoying little things you have to push and pull the table up, hurt your fingers. This is all, again, creature comfort stuff. You have a little drain down there in case this gets filled up with water, which it will. And of course, yes, we are cleaning this all out to make it bright and fresh. If you guys want to see that video, stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I'm going to be showing you guys a cleaning video of this in the future. Now, if you thought that that was cool, wait till you see this. Now with a flick of the button, we make this one of the nicest boats to work on. Look how much room we have to work on this engine bay area. If you've worked on a boat engine before, you know it's tight, it's cramped, it's not a lot of fun, but this entire rear deck lifts up so that you can get access to this bottom area. Now the first thing I thought of when I saw this is, oh cool, you can you can sit on it and ride it up, but I probably wouldn't do that. Those are the rams supporting it, and I'm sure there's a weight limit. It is a little bit shaky, so I probably would not recommend sitting that and jumping. Looks like we got a little bee here too. Look at this guy. He's got pollen on his legs. So here we have our engine bay area, and let's go take a little peek at what exactly is down here. So like I mentioned earlier, we have our twin engines. We have twin V8 380 Volvo motors. Again, anyone who's worked on Volvo before knows that these are absolute tanks. I love these motors. Volvo makes a great product, and you can see how nice and easy it is to work on stuff back here with this setup instead of having to dive into like a little nook like that to work on anything. It's really nice to be able to have this kind of access. Now, I'm not going to have the answer for everything in this video. If you guys notice something that I didn't, cool little feature that stood out, let me know. I'm just kind of covering the general stuff. So to start with that, we got our twin V8s. We got our hot water tank down here. This gets hot really quick, so if you need hot water right away, that thing can pump them out really nice for you. Here we have the generator fuel selection. So you have your gas tanks on this side. You can see how massive these tanks are. There's another one over here. So each tank holds 135 US gallons, or that's 510 liters. I can't imagine what it would cost to fill both of these tanks. I imagine you'd be probably looking well over a few $1,000s for that. Here we have one battery per engine, and then we have our accessory battery. We also have motorized emergency battery charging shutoffs. So this has actually got a little motor in it. You're not necessarily meant to turn it unless you have to, but this will actually shut off one of these batteries if it starts to die, take the power from the other one and charge this one. Really nice feature. It keeps the batteries nice and balanced. Now of course if you have an issue with your battery you should get it replaced, but for little emergencies, or if for whatever reason one of them drains, it's really nice to have a battery charging system. It keeps it nice and balanced. Here we have our gray water tank. So if you're a fan of gray colored water instead of clear water, you have the option to drink gray water. No, that's the poop tank, which is kind of funny because you have to step on it. But there you go, there's that. Over here we have our generator. Now this is actually a gas generator. It does take the gas from the tank to run it, and it does have a muffler that makes this thing whisper quiet, which is very imperative because on the other side of this wall is actually the bedroom. Also kind of a funny little thing too, if you ever shove something too far inside of the life jacket cubby, you can actually open up this area and get access to it, as well as it also has this guy, which we are going to need. So I'm gonna grab those. I'm gonna show you guys in a second. I'm sure you figured it out already, but we're gonna grab those out of there. So moving on to the next little bit, we are going to lift up the Bimini top, which is this button right here. I'm not gonna lie, every time I do this, the tolerance right here, that always kind of freaks me out. It looks like you're gonna smoke the bottom of the table motor, but that never happens. It's just really tight tolerance on this boat. Go ahead and drop the engine cover down. So to open up this top, just open up the zipper here. Then this cover comes off of the top of it, and you can see the cover underneath. We'll just unwrap that cover. Once it's unwrapped, you just open it up like this, and you can fold down the Bimini top. Now just before I bring that cover all the ways down, we're just gonna take a little peek up on the upper deck area. So up here we have a little window with some latches you can bump out of the way. You can walk out on your deck. This is the living room area down below, so you have some windows that you can look through. Up in this section is actually access to the anchor. So here you can see the anchor system, as well as the remote for going up and down with it. The anchor is also controlled from the deck portion as well. I believe that's just an additional feature for moving the anchor up and down as needed. And then of course we have the horns right here. Very loud. But yeah, that's essentially the up front area. So I'm gonna close this, and we are going to take a look at this top. In case you don't know, this works really easily. You just push the little buttons onto the windshield here, and then you put the zipper onto the zipper we used earlier. And because Chris Craft is always thinking of the customer, they marked the exact middle of this. You can start from the middle and work your way out and not be confused as to where it goes. Now once that's zipped up in the front section there, you're then able to take this off, and then this little peg will lock down into this little section right here. There it is with the top on the boat, so you get a lot of nice shade coming up here. You can see those chrome bars. Again, all of this has to be cleaned, but you can see the nice fabric that's in here. Provides a lot of nice, really relaxing shade. Now I will admit, I have been looking at whatever this is for a little bit. I have no idea what this is. If you have an idea what this is and you want to let me know, I can't think of anything. I don't know. Let me know what you think that is. I have no clue, but it has one, so that's good. Now, let's go take a look down into the lower deck. Open the door for dramatic reveal. So starting off, we have our light switches here, a little grab bar. Of course, the door is here, but if you want to keep the bugs out, comes with a nice little screen. I also have no clue what this is. Maybe you can figure that one out as well. Does something, I'm sure. Now you have your nice living room area. You have, of course, the natural sunlight coming in through the top, which you can change again with these little blinds that pop in through here. You have, of course, your really beautiful living room area. There's lots of seating here as well. This table can move in whatever direction you need. You can see it pops up and down there as well. And the coolest part, another really cool part of this, is that this is actually a second bedroom. So to move this table down, you lift this latch up, and then instead of other typical tables that would just fall into your fingers, this one actually has some pressure built into it. So once the table is down in the lock position, you then grab the little straps here and you start to pull out the little hidden bed. And of course, just like everywhere else in this boat, they love hidden storage. Underneath these seats, you have another little compartment. Down in here, you can store some more stuff. It's a fairly large area, so board games, food, clothes, supplies, whatever you need, you can tuck away down in that spot. Now, of course, you have all of your storage areas in here, which I won't get into, and your storage areas over here as well. Here we have the light and the AC. You do have AC in this area. Again, more storage up in the side ports here. You have your light switches for these little reading lights. You got your AC ducting up here. And then, of course, you have a privacy curtain with a little light that comes on and off that you can pull out along here to cover up this area. Moving on to the kitchen area, we have, again, more storage. We have our fuse panel up in here. So this would be all the fuses for everything. You can see it even has a cockpit ice maker. Pretty crazy. You can select either generator or shore power for the individual lines. Got yourself a little microwave. And of course, more storage in every little spot that you look. This little sink is quite nice too, if you need to clean anything or cook or whatever. You have that area. And if a microwave isn't enough, you actually have a glass stovetop that you can cook on. Down in this area, we of course have our little fridge. This really needs to be cleaned out, and we are definitely cleaning that out. Then over into the bathroom, we of course have our bathroom switch here. Turn that on. We have our little bathroom area with the sink and a shower too. So you have a second shower. This is more of like an inside sort of deal. Again, you have some air blowing in here, keeping everything nice and clean and fresh, which you'll need because there's a toilet in this area. And then you even put the little toilet roll kind of tucked away here, hidden, so when you take a shower, you don't get your toilet paper wet. And then, of course, we also have more storage down in the bottom section here. Now we'll move on to the bedroom. Here in the bedroom area, we have a tiny little window. You can actually see out into the captain's area up there. See if anyone's coming aboard for a mutiny. You have your bedroom area down here, the outlets down that way. You got the light switches, and again, more storage. Now, like I said earlier, if you guys want to watch the video of us cleaning, detailing, and getting everything set up for this boat, make sure you stay tuned, because we do have that coming up in the future. We're going to detail all the little nooks and crannies in this thing, get the outside shining, might even polish some portions of it, and of course we're going to get the inside detailed and cleaned up. But that's actually going to do it for the video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop some comments down below, and I'd be happy to respond to them if you guys have any questions, if you have any comments or anything. And again, if you noticed anything on this boat that I didn't, you want to point something out, correct me on something, feel free to drop a comment. But until next time, See ya.